everything turned down and off and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right, here we go. Hopefully we can see this. Healing herbs, lavenders. Is that right? There we go. And here we go. And we are going to go over the good old lavender. What is lavender? What can it do for us? We will find out tonight, right? So the lavender is another herb that is really good for a lot of what ails you, if you will. So we get these big old bags, or you can get the small bags, or you can get the tinctures, right? A lot of times it helps out for many, many, many things. I'm trying to get my share screen going here and get it to working. If we can figure this one out, we should be all right. So there we go, and there we go. And healing herbs. It's not wanting to be cooperative with me for some reason. So what I'm going to do is this here. Bring myself on the screen, and there I am. And shalom. And what I am trying to show you is lavender, right? So lavender is what we have here. And this is what we need to get if we're doing certain things, right? So what I'm trying to find is how to share this without going to these other things. And obviously I have too much on to get to it. So we will go to here. And this is the reason why that we want to do these things as well. Because believe it or not, these are in the scriptures, right? For they covered the face of the whole earth so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. Now, again, it might surprise you that there is herbs in scriptures, right? Isib. People say herbs. Isib in the Hebrew, H6212. And this is very important to us because when we need healing, when we need things, all the ancients did what? They took these herbs. They knew about these herbs, right? Psalms 105 and 35. And did eat up all the herbs in the land and devoured the fruit of their ground. Proverbs 15 and 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and a hatred therewith. So we see all through again the scriptures is what we're being told is about these herbs. So there must be something to it. Now this became a quest, if you will. This became something to find, something to dig into the scriptures. And it says what? He is the great physician. But we also have scriptures that say, heal thyself, physician. Is there any balm in Gilead? All these things about the herbs is why that I would submit to you what we need to do, what we need to show ourselves worthy, and where we can find these things, right? Matthew 13:32. which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. And it's talking about the mustard seed, right? The mustard seed is one of the smallest herbs, one of the smallest ones, but it becomes a great tree. And last but not least, but when it is sown, it groweth up and becometh greater than all the herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. So again, it's all about the herbs, baby. It's all about these things. I would submit that we as believers come and we have the Bible, and we have a song service, and we have these things that were kind of handed down that we are brought into, right? That we are brought into these things that we see. For example, we go to church and we see what happens in church. And we have a song service, we have a little bit of testimonial, we have this, and we're so accustomed to that, that anything out of that norm kind of upsets us, kind of bothers us. But as believers, we should always be moving forward. We should always not just accept the normal per se service, if you will. We should be growing and learning, and it not only helps us, it helps our family, and it helps others. That's right, because the more that you learn about this, the more it can help you, your skin, your health, your body, and the more you can do with it. And then once you figure something like this out, then what can you do? Then you can share this with other people. And when you share this with other people, that's when it becomes a really, really great thing, right? This is when it becomes something that we can share, we can love, we can do all these things with what? With one another. So, the health benefits, we're not going to take too long. We're just going to go over some of the health benefits, why we would do this. And again, mostly this is for each other. This is for the body. This is not something that you sit back and just, this is only for me. This is for the whole body and anybody in it, or even the world. If we are the healers of the world, if we're going to restore, then why are we not restoring? So, lavender oil decreases blood pressure, heart rate, and body temperature, indicating a decrease in the flight for fight response. So we all know, or we should know, if something happens, there's something inside of us, depending on who you are, you either fight or you run. It's called flight or fight. It's just what's going to happen. You're going to stand and fight, or you're going to take off and running. And it doesn't matter, again, who you are. A lot of times, you find out when you're younger, you find out what it is, you find out who you are by these very ways, right? So what we need to do is use everything we possibly can. Everything we possibly can will help us as the body. Everything that we can get our knowledge upon. And again, this ain't just about one congregation. It's not about one person. This is for the whole world, if you will, the whole body. For everybody in the body, and for those who just need some health, right? Lavender is a group of plants native to the Southern Europe, Northern and Eastern Africa, Southwest Asia, and Southeast India. What does that got to do? Because you need to know where it's coming from, right? You need to know what it is, because to know what it is how it helps you. Make sense? Its main ingredients: lionol acetate, cineol, turpentine, camphor. Camphor is another good one for sores and things of that nature, right? Lineol creates an anti-conflict effects, while both lineal and lineal acetate cause sedative effects. So it can help you even with sleep, right? It gives you that soothing, calm let's take a nap effect. Now, the main things that it does, which is a lot of them, is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant property. In your cells, in your body, you're producing something. Now, that something you want to be good, because if those cells produce fat, if they produce anything other than what they should be producing, healthy cells, eventually it's going to become a problem. And even if they're producing healthy cells and it's going to an inflamed place, it can cause those cells, whether it's be in your eyes, your sinuses, wherever part of your body is. Mainly what we're trying to protect, first of all, is our skin and the first line defense, right? So this is going to help that, to help you protect your body, to keep those toxins and those things out of your body. Diesel fuel, poisons, Roundup, whatever the case may be that we're running into. Why don't use it? Well, the city and the state does. And if you're driving down the interstate and something's spraying on you, it may not be water. In cells, lavender essential oil increases your HSP70 activity, which stops your LPS-induced inflammatory reactions. We're not going to get real technical, but we can get very technical. That's the thing. When you are using these are not just, a lot of people think they're just like secondary. They're something that, when you can't do nothing else or you can't afford nothing else or something like that. Not true. Some of these herbs, I think the red Chinese ginseng, some of these herbs are in excess of $30,000. So it's not really secondary to anything. Now, what it takes, right? If you get a shot and you get this, it might take a day, right? So the effects, yes, but the effects is this is not going to destroy your liver. This is not going to destroy your brain. This is not going to hurt your kidneys and make you sick and feel sick. Eventually, even though this might take a little bit longer, this is going to overall help your body and your organs, right? So the health benefits, it has been approved by the FDA. Yay. There is extracts, oils, and generally the lack of solid clinical research because, it has not been approved by the FDA. So basically what's going to happen is any flower, any herb, anything that they can't turn into money, I'm just going to be honest, that they can't get a lot of money out of, they're going to throw it in the garbage and come up with a shot or a pill and say it's 10 times as potent as this, and this is what you need to take. When, if we knew this from children, if you teach your children these things, at least they have a fighting chance to know and have a choice, right? It's kind of like Sunday versus Sabbath. Least tell me the Sabbath, least tell me the commandments, then it's my choice, right? If I have pharmacia or I have an herb, it's at least my choice. Do I want to take this or do I want to take this? What is the purpose? Now, going on, stress and anxiety. Lavender oil decreases blood pressure, heart rate, and body temperature, indicating a decrease in the fight or flight response, like we said earlier. It also reduces anxiety, emotional distress, and pain perception. So this would be great if you're maybe going hunting or maybe going in the woods or maybe going camping or maybe doing some coke. Maybe you take a little bit of this, and those nights that you're laying on your cot in your tent or laying on the floor, maybe this would help it out just a little bit. Practical uses is what I believe in. Practical using something instead of the knowledge of, yes, I know it, but what am I ever going to do with that knowledge, right? And increase the heart rate, which shows a higher stress tolerance, right? There has been studies done on these. There has been multiple studies done on these. You can look these up and find out for yourself of what all it does. Again, You can get very, very in depth on these of the cellular level, of the blood level, what they do. But for time and all purposes concerned here, we're just trying to let you know what it is, what its main purpose will do for you. And if you think that's something for you, then you look into it and check into it. And by all means, if you want to know more, then let us know, right? There's 200 to 300,000 known herbs on this earth. 200 to 300,000. So probably whatever's ailing you, there's probably something that can at least help, right? It can at least address your problem. Because you have to watch Sane Curing today. For low anxiety situations, lavender helps lower the heart rate, increases the variation between heartbeats, and decreases your sweat secretion. So this would be a great thing for like war, for soldiers, right? An increase in variation between heartbeats indicates a higher tolerance to stress. In high anxiety situations, lavender causes an increase in variation between the heartbeats in women and an increase in sweat secretion in men. However, when the increase in variation between heartbeats indicates a mild decrease in anxiety from women, the increase in sweat secretion proves the opposite effect for men, right? Insufficient evidence. We're always going to see there's never enough evidence to say these do anything, because they don't want you to believe this does anything, because they want you to come take a pill, right? They want you to go see your doctor. And I'm not saying don't go see your doctor. What I'm saying is, if you can take this, if you know somebody who needs it, the knowledge is power. Yahweh himself, it is written, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I would submit that we are destroyed in many different ways. It's not just because we don't know our Bible. It's not just because of this. It's because we have a very, very low tolerance in knowledge. We have a very lack of knowledge of even our ancestors, right? You go back, the Indians, the Chinese, the Asians, Japanese, they still have some of this knowledge. And yet, we are just not taught these things. It increases your sleep efficiency by allowing longer and deeper sleep. Now, that may be because of your job. It may be because of your life. It may be because you watch too much CNN. I don't know. But the thing of it is, there's things going on in this world. Now, you don't want to just knock out and forget about it, act like it don't happen. But a good night's sleep is what your body needs. Most people 6 to 8 hours uninterrupted sleep, and the older you get, the more that's a problem, because you get up, you go to the bathroom, you did this and this and that and this and the other, right? If you can get 4 to 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep, how do you feel in the morning? It decreases the amount of time spent awake during the night, as well as the morning tiredness. Nothing like sleeping all night, waking up tired, right? Also, it decreases that restlessness. Lavender increased the percentage of time spent in deep restorative slow wave sleep in a study of 31 healthy participants. In women, lavender increased light stage 2 sleep and decreased rapid eye movement, REM sleep. In men, lavender has the opposite effect on these two stages. So see, there's been all kinds of studies. Almost everything you look up about these herbs, you will find there's not enough evidence. There's not enough studies. But then you will find, if you look into it, they've been studying for years. 2001. And that's 20 years alone, right? 1999. I mean, 2005. You'll find study after study. 2018, 2019. You'll find studies of all these. So let's go on. Scientists examined the brain activity of 10 healthy women who were exposed to lavender odor. A brain imaging study showed the lavender increases both brain arousal and feelings of relaxation. This is documented. This ain't just stuff and puff. This is, scientists have studied these things, and they've actually put it on a monitor and seen it works and what it does. So for everybody that says, oh, that's just, a bunch of whatever. Aromatherapy. Now, this is one of the things that you can use as an oil and you can put in the air, right? You can get a diffuser, put it in the air. And I think that's what they was talking about there. It's also something you can take. You can put it in a pill form. You can mix it in your tea or your lemon water or whatever it is, right? So if you mix this with rosemary, lemon, and orange essential oils and increase your function, it can help you out. And not only that, it can be helping with Alzheimer's, right? It can help with Alzheimer's. There's a lot of studies and a lot of things that say nothing can stop this and nothing. And I don't believe that, because your body is made to heal itself. You know that if you've ever cut yourself, it heals. It don't just stay there forever. Yahweh made us to heal. And unless you're in a very bad state, your mind, your body, your liver, it will all try to heal itself. Now, you know, we ain't going to throw too much of it, but there is a thing called sin. There is things that we know we shouldn't do. So the more we dig into that, I know people don't want to hear about that. You know, we're just vegans and just tell us the story about this, but that's the whole thing too. We have to have the whole apple, if you will. If we only take one bite, then that's all we're going to get. Now, again, the rats, the mice, all these things, again, you'll hear that this hasn't been studied, there ain't this, but obviously they've used rats, they use mice, they've really done a lot of extensive studies on these things, right? And it did help them, their domain receptors, which is what? Your brain. Supposedly all Alzheimer's is aluminum getting in between your brain. If you can find something that takes out that aluminum or stops the aluminum, then that is your answer. That's just, you know, another addressing a problem. Wound healing. Lavender oil applied to canker sores reduced inflammation, pain, and the ulcer size. And healing time. Anything that helps you heal quicker, better, faster, right? If you got something, a cold sore on your lip, you got something on your eye, you got something down your face, you got something on your arm, anything that makes that heal quicker, better, faster, then what's wrong with it, right? Now you got to watch steroids, certain things like that, of course, but I'm saying any natural herb, any natural plant, any natural thing. Pain and itching. The essential oil relieve muscle pain and itchiness from insect bites. So maybe those little itchy, scratchy rashes, things like that, maybe you can try it. Again, if you try this, please just put a little bit on. Don't rub it all over, because some people have allergic reactions, right? A lot of people don't, but some people can. Lavender essential oil applied typically to the insertion area of the needle reduce the intensity of the pain caused by the needle insertion in 30 healthy volunteers and 34 dialysis patients, right? Dialysis patients. Menstrual cramps. In 2 studies, lavender used in aromatherapy massaged the stomach and reduced the severity of the menstrual cramps. Headaches. In controlled trial of 47 patients, the lavender oil breathed in reduced the headache severity compared to the placebo. Now, not only are they doing tests, they're giving some people something and some people nothing, right? Here's your water mist and here's your lavender oil. Well, I don't feel any different, because we give you a mist of air, a mist of water, some H2O, and these people got that. You know, some of these studies are something in themselves. Anyway, hair growth in a study of 86 balding parents, patients, whoever, people, right? The group that massaged a mixture of essential oils, lavender, thyme, rosemary, and cedarwood onto their scalp experienced an improvement in hair loss symptoms. Inflammation. Lavender essential oil has an antitoxin and anti-inflammatory effects. And again, folks, what does something for me may not do the same for you. And what your body needs and what my body needs can be totally two different things, right? And as we've seen, men and women, if the woman has something, menstrual cramps, well, obviously that's not going to do nothing for me, right? But it may for her, it may for the daughters, it may for these women who have these problems. So we're trying to target again, whomever this may help. And the knowledge and the power of the knowledge to know if you need this, if you've heard of this and nothing else, 5 years down the road, Yahweh willing, Yahweh tarries, that somebody says, hey, my daughter has these menstrual, hey, have you ever tried this? Hey, I got a cold sore, I got a canker sore, I got this. Hey, have you ever tried to rub some of this on it? Have you ever done, right? Lavender essential oil has the antitoxin, anti-inflammatory. The side effects. With everything in all these, we have to be careful again, whether you put just a little bit on you, how much you use, how much you take, and what you do with it, because it can cause problems, right? It can cause problems like you see in the mouth, enlargement of the male breast tissue, testosterone blocking properties in lavender tea and oils. You have to be very careful with the teas and the the essential oils and putting them on your skin, because a lot of them are not made to put on your skin. They're made to go into a mister or into a aromatherapy, something that goes into like a mist in the air, not to be rubbed on your skin. So you have to be careful in what you're doing, right? If left exposed to air, lavender oil oxidizes to form chemicals that are irritating to the skin, and it can cause skin rashes. It may cause stomach pain, nausea, and indigestion, right? So the things that you want to do, again, is know what you're getting yourself into, know what you need, and research. Know it yourself. If you have any questions or comments, then please get a hold of us and we can talk more about it. But again, the research, check it out, see if it's for you or not. Another great thing you can do is when you get these herbs, you can buy these little pills, double O pills or whatever you prefer, and you can buy these little makers. And you take your powder and you put it into this and you smush this little guy down and out comes pills. And depending on the one you get is how many pills you get, right? So you get, well, we got 4, 8, 12, 12, 24. 24 pills, right? So if you take 2 a day or 2 in the morning, 2 at night, it's an easier way than trying to bring around tinctures and trying to drink stuff like this. If you spill it, you drop it. This is glass. If you drop this on concrete, if you're working, doing something, it's going to break. It may spill out, especially once you open it a few times. This can rip open. So some of these things, plus you got to watch these because some of these have water and alcohol in them, which means what? Well, it means you're buying water and alcohol instead of the what you're wanting to get, right? So I recommend personally that you try to get the herb, the purest form you can find. Find a good company or a good place that you trust, that you believe in. Talk to them, ask them, see if it's 100% pure, organic. Of course, no, Roundup sprayed on it, no garbage. If it's all that, then it's probably best off not taking it. But if you take the purest form, you open the bag up, however much you want to take, depending on what it says, of course, the instructions, if you will. And then from there, you just go from that, right? So I hope this has helped. I hope it's edified. What I'd like to do probably later on down the road, what I was doing before was taking some of these and actually putting them in water and drinking them. But for time and mess and everything else, but I would like to show later on how to make these. It can be kind of messy, especially when you start getting tired and if you're putting a lot of them together. But you can make a lot of these pretty quick if you just get the right things and the right ingredients. And again, you can get enough for 30 days or 60 days real easy with doing it this way. And that way you ain't gonna have a spoon and a bag and you're trying to go somewhere and you're trying to do this and it's 12 o'clock, and this way here you still have the same thing. You buy the kosher, the kosher double O pills. They're vegetarian. There's nothing in them that's bad. There's no pork products. There's no animal products. There's no pig intestines, all that good stuff that, yeah, you have to watch for, right? Like in your hot dogs. But anyway, I hope this is edified. Again, if you have any questions or comments, we're going to try to do these. I've been trying to do them every Wednesday night. That kind of got shifted. Now we're kind of doing it on Friday night. It depends on, try to do it about once a week. We might have a couple hiccups here in the next couple of weeks again, but either Tuesday nights or Monday nights or something throughout the week, I'm trying to put out one more of these because there's plenty. Trust me, we're not going to run out anytime soon. And some of these, even how I say that, some of these you've never heard of. I can almost guarantee you there's some of these that you've never heard of. I don't care if you're a vegetarian. I don't care if you've been doing this your whole life. There's probably a few of these that you have probably never heard of, because there's some of them that's very, very hard to find. There's a lot of research going into this. And again, there's powders, there's like seeds, there's different things, different ways to do this. And a lot of this is up to you and how you can take them. I mean, if you know somebody that's very sick, very elderly, you're going to have to go with probably the tinctures, because they're not going to be able to choke down 2 spoonsful of cardamom, right? And when you start putting this together, if you don't use a good warm mixture of tea or something like that, it will choke you. It will give you, it sometimes if you don't mix it up real good, you'll get that powder effect in your mouth. And when you're breathing and drinking, you're gonna, you'll realize it if you do it. But I'm just saying you have to, but you don't want to do that to elderly. That's why, again, you don't want 89-year-old person coughing and spitting and slobbering and throwing up because they couldn't get this down, when all you got to do is just give them a pill or give them a tincture and they'll be on their way, right? And a pill form, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the same thing. It's just the way you consume it. It's the way you put it in your body. Instead of taking a spoonful of this, you take approximately 2 pills. It's the same thing, but you don't get that powder effect, right? And again, I'll try to put that together one day and show, because this is a powdery stuff. A lot of this is a powdery form. If you ever been, overseas or some of these sandy deserts, it's a powdery form type stuff. So shalom, and yes, same Zoom room, same everything. We're just back and forth with the times. Like I said, we was doing it on Wednesdays, and now we're going to do it on Fridays right now because we got another thing going on Wednesdays. So right now we'll just set it for same time, same place, Friday evenings, and go from there. And then if it changes up again, I'll let you know. Of course, again, summertime and doing this and doing that and traveling, going places. But as far as right now, yes, same Zoom room, same numbers. I'm not going to change the numbers or anything like that. Try to do YouTube Live as well. And I believe that's it. Anything else? All right. Yes. Love the questions, love the comments. And if you know anybody that needs these, or you gave it to somebody or yourself, please let us know. A lot of times we don't get a lot of feedback. If you know somebody they have been helped out with that, that would help us out as well. So until next time, Yahweh bless you. Shalom, and thank you very much for listening and for watching. Shalom, and may Yahweh bless.